Hey, it's Cliff, and it's been a minute since I've looked at the cryptocurrency market, but last night my interest was piqued as we are watching XRP go into this ascending reptar pattern. Now, clearly, CoinMarketCap had some kind of glitch last night, but we did have a small pump. So I want to go over here and show you guys, see where we're at now as it is the next day. So here is XRP. As you can see, we are holding 65 cents, pretty strong here, and we're about up 6% for the day. Just looking at Sologenic, because typically Sologenic is going to follow XRP, and you can see we have a pretty good size pump here, and we're still pumping on the hour. So maybe we're going to get a little bit more of gains. Looking at Corium got the pump that XRP had, but we're kind of trailing off a little bit as the day continues. So as I started looking at these charts, I was wondering, one, what was going on? I don't know why these coins are pumping right now, but my interest was piqued. So I figured I'd kind of start looking into Sologenic to see what was going on with the coin. So the last big news that I remember looking at when it came to Sologenic was to see if they were going to get their brokerage license. That's the thing that everybody was waiting on. We were going to pilot this new program, and hopefully there was going to be regulatory clarity within the United States, and they would be able to start tokenizing different assets on the platform. So it's been a while since I've looked at Sologenic. So I'm just kind of wondering where they're at with that. And I did a little digging, and I was able to find a video where Bob Ross, our CEO, actually talks about where they are at with that. So let me go ahead and bring that up so we can watch it.
That's why tokenization of traditional assets is poised to become a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Bob, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
All right, you got it. And Bob, give us a quick background on what tokenization is and how it has the potential to radically transform global trade in traditional financial assets.
Yeah, so basically tokenization is taking the real world asset like a stocks, ETF, or even it could be real estate on blockchain, on chain. And once we are tokenizing assets on blockchain, it's going to give us a lot of benefit, and it's going to solve a lot of problems that they are existing within the traditional financial market, which probably we can touch base on that during the interview.
Right. I've been seeing some updates on tokenizing real estate. That's something that I didn't actually get a look at the article to see where they were at with it, but I saw they are working on that a little bit more heavily. So definitely stay tuned as I look in to see what's going on with that.
Right. So what are some of the major financial institutions that are either putting projects in place or they're looking to get major exposure to digital assets?
As you can probably see, you heard about them on the news. BlackRock is one of them. JP Morgan is the other one. And quite frankly, it's very promising. It's great to see that big names that are actually started to look into the tokenization. They realize that there is a value, and with the help of blockchain, with utilizing the blockchain technology, they are going to disrupt the traditional financial market. And we are, as one of the companies that we have been leading in the tokenization industry. I'm so happy to see that, basically big names are coming into the scene right now.
So Bob, tell us about Sologenic, where you fit in the blockchain tokenization ecosystem, and what are you enabling institutions to do?
We had this vision from 2020, so long time before the big name to actually realize the power of tokenization. So we started the project back in 2020, and at that time nobody was talking about tokenization, but probably we were one of the very first companies that we realized the power of tokenization. We completed the technology. It took about a year and a half just to develop such a technology. And during that time, we technically, the idea was to launch a tokenized stocks and ETA trading platform, right? And allow retail investors to come to the platform, tokenize these assets, and start trading, which is still, that's the idea. And we reached out to a few different regulatory authorities back then. It took us about another 2 years back and forth, but unfortunately we couldn't really secure a license, a broker-dealer license, because it was a very new concept. They didn't understand it. So we had that issue.
So that to me was big news, because they reached out to all these different regulatory platforms, and they were unable to achieve the license that they actually needed. To me, that's big news, and it's not a good look for Sologenic.
So we actually changed the idea a little bit. So right now, there are two aspects that we are following. We have two goals at the company that we are following right now. So one goal is we have created Sologenic, which is an institutional tokenization solution, allowing financial institution to bring any asset classes. It could be securities, it could be real estate, it could be commodities on chain. So that's basically our institutional solution that we already released that, and we are in touch with a few big players. Just try to get them adopt the technology. From the other side, in terms of launching our own tokenization platform, we are in the process of acquiring a broker dealer firm. We are looking, basically right now we are at the due diligence step. So once if that's if our legal team, they're happy with the due diligence result, then probably we are going to acquire that company, and we are going to launch the very first tokenized stocks and ETF platform in the world. And just to be clear, this is going to be as a pilot program. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to offer the service in US, Canada, or EU. This is a pilot program. The idea is we launch a pilot program, we go back to the regulators inside the US, inside Canada, inside the EU, and ask them basically, not ask them, just talk to them and say, hey, we have a pilot program, which is going on for a few months, right? So just to give them more confidence and get them to have a better understanding of the technology.
Right. And Bob, this is, a really big conversation that we're having in the industry right now. We know tokenization, it's built on blockchain that provides the transparency and auditability that financial institutions rely on. I mean, they have to be able to provide that, right? So it feels as if when we talk about mass adoption, and I'm not even just talking about, the trading of the assets, but putting together packaged products such as ETFs and tokenizing what we call real world assets, or TradFi, right? It feels as if we've got to get past that, the regulatory hurdle in the US and get a framework around it. I feel like that's really the next catalyst for mass adoption. Would you agree?
100%, absolutely. I think you're 100% right on that. And as a matter of fact, I would like to take this opportunity and ask SEC and all the other authorities, to develop and create a very fair and transparent regulatory framework around, tokenization and blockchain, and cryptocurrency, right? Which is going to protect investors and innovators. Instead of just taking enforcement actions, against all the blockchain companies,
So pretty much what I'm getting from this is Sologenic said, we're going to create our own firm. They pretty much took the Bender scenario. I'm going to do my own thing with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go build my own theme park with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the park.
And they're going to go off, take this firm and pilot it in some place that's actually going to allow them to do what they need to do, obviously. And it's going to be outside of the United States, unfortunately. It's coming down to the same tune that we've been dealing with for years. The SEC is not allowing them to do what they need to do. So even if they were able to get this firm, they can't use it in the US. That's just where they're at right now. So we're still pleading to regulators, hey, this technology is actually really important. We should probably be able to use it. And we've been saying this for years. And it's unfortunate. But maybe there is a slight chance that they can pilot this firm somewhere else. And the popularity of owning these tokenized assets, and people actually see the utility of it, it'll actually spread, and people will start wanting it. They'll start complaining to congressmen and all these senators, hey, this is what we actually need. What are you guys doing? You're destroying our country.
And you have seen that in the news, right? So they have taken a lot of enforcement action against many companies, inside the US, which end of the day, this is going to push all these companies to go offshore, which which all the capital money jobs, they're going to go away from US. I think that's not the right attitude. And so I would like to see a more transparent and fair regulatory framework around blockchain technology and tokenization itself.
All right, Bob, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at NASDAQ.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's pretty much where they're at with it. They weren't able to get a brokerage license. They are going to acquire their own firm, and they are going to pilot the firm in a different location. I'd really be interested to see where they're actually planning on piloting this thing. I'll have to do a little bit more digging to see what kind of countries they have in mind for this. But that's pretty much the Sologenic news. As always, thank you for watching.